Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Nick, back again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over my first plus 20 timed in Dragonflight Season 1. And it was a Court of Stars. So we were a humble 406 eye level going into this run. And we'll have a quick look at the talents. I dropped these two like whirlwind nodes just so I could get an AoE stop. And I've got my Stormbolt just to stop a lot of the trash in here that you need to actually stun rather than kick. Because we've got 4-piece now, we've prioritized into these execute nodes and dropped these like enraged, for like fresh meat and the guaranteed hitting when enraged. But it's a pretty simple trade-off. Just for a bit more of that stacking execute buff. So we're playing with a Hunter, a Feral Druid, and then I'm playing Fury. Then we've got a Resto Druid and a Blood DK. This was like the third key I did with this Blood DK and Healer that I found in the group finder. We just ended up chaining a few keys. We're just jamming out, having a great time. But we get to enjoy the nice little boat ride. We might skip this actually. There we go, we've landed in at the dock. What a great way to just burn 30 seconds in your key. So normally you can get a rogue or a demon hunter to like sap or imprison this mob here. But we have neither of those options, so we end up just pulling it along with us. You can just pull him into the first pack quite simply. It's not too much of a hassle. He just does a frontal, so it's not too dangerous. So we get the sentry, so I precast my puzzle box. Bit of a pain to have to precast that trinket, but here's what it is. We slam our spear, which is really nice for the sentries actually, because when they try to run out of it, they get yoinked back.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So I wasn't too sure which route this tank was gonna play, because some people like to play the little dock area, and some people just like press W and just run straight in the dungeon. Yeah, it's just dodging a bunch of frontals and getting that charged. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it heals the surrounding mobs if it goes off. So you definitely want to kick that. And it also has a suppress cast, which you also want to get a kick on. So we get a nice little construct pool. Charging station, there it is. So these mana worms are a little bit annoying to play around, because when they die, they drop a little swirly on the ground that explodes if you're standing in it, so you do not want to be standing in it. There's just a lot of zoning mechanics for melee in this dungeon, so I'm just playing super safe. Just trying to not get hit by anything, and dodge everything we can. So we got a sentry coming up on our side here. Normally you get a rogue or a DH to imprison that one as well. The hunter trapped it, which is really nice. Gives us a little bit of extra time to work on the mobs that we already had. So these mana sabers, they leap onto people, and they leave a pretty nasty dot. And it seems like they both leapt onto me. What you can do to prevent that is you can stun one straight off the rip, just so you can delay the leap that they do onto people. Sorry about that pause. I hit the space button by accident. So you want to click all these pillars, because it reduces the amount of adds that spawn out in the boss fight. So sentry is #1 priority here. Once they're dead, you can pretty much chain into the next pack. So we've got a bound energy in this pack here, which does a charged blast, and it's just a big frontal on the mob. It's a little bit hard to see where he's pointing, honestly. Put up my spell reflect there because we didn't have any kicks, and luckily it was targeting me. But I'm pretty sure the healer can also just dispel the suppress off you. So the big things for this first boss area is you want to make sure you have an alchemist, so they can click the little vial in the center, which kills the boss at 25, I believe, percent health. Because he goes and takes a swig. So I just go click that because I have alchemy. Then there's like 3 pillars around the room that you all want to go click. So we've got all the pillars. This boss is like probably one of the easiest bosses in this season if you can dodge just straight lines. It has like 3 mechanics. It's just dodge the little frontals on either side of the boss, dodge the singular beam, and jump 3 times, or you can get dispelled. So it's pretty good. With storming this week, it's a little bit more interesting because you can get knocked up into unfortunate situations. But if you just like pre-pop them whenever you can, helps a lot. Or just dodge them.
Jump.
Or we're dodging, we're jumping.
Dodge.
But yeah, it's a very straightforward fight. Some groups opt to like pull in some extra trash into this boss. There's like one of those mana worm packs, and that's a pretty solid pack to pull in for some extra percent. Especially if you're just like sending a lust and all your cooldowns on it anyways, it just like falls over.
Jump.
Courtesans is probably is one of the easier dungeons this patch, along with Shattering Burial Grounds. There's a tiny bit of RNG to Courtesans with like what buffs you get in the second area, which can make your run a lot faster as well. So we got our second set of cooldowns.
Jump.
5.
Nice clear in there. Yeah, so now he's heading off. Yep, 25%, and he's gone. He just dies. So we just pull this construct, and we're just going to run it all the way up to the top. You only really need to kick the suppress cast on this mob, because the heal is like an AoE to other mobs around him, and because he's by himself, he doesn't heal anything else, so it doesn't really matter if this cast goes off. But we just kick it just so we can take him along with us without having to stop and fight him and then run later. So now we're off. Nice little run. Oh, they got the speed boost. Just a slow little warrior. Getting stuck on every lamppost I can find along the way. Jumping down. Okay, these blazing imps are very dangerous. If those firebolts go off, they can wreck everyone. So I AoE feared there. If I was there a fraction earlier, I probably wouldn't have sent my AoE fear there because I would have wanted to use it for the big pack of imps more ideally. So you want to kick that Searing Glaze cast on that like mage mob, the Inquisitor, and then you also want to stun his like Tempest pulsing damage that he does. The Shadow Mistress has like a Shadow Lash that really hurts the tank a lot. So we kind of didn't get many good buffs on this side. We got the Hunter Trap, which is lucky we have a Hunter, so that's pretty good. But we're just waiting for these imps to come back through. So the first sun out. And then we didn't have another stop, so I just sent my Spell Reflect just in case something targeted me. But a lot of the things targeted the healer. So it's pretty unfortunate. So we play this 3-pack. Super simple. This Ice Storm is the one I was talking about to stun. You want to stun that just as fast as you can once it finishes the full cast. Just kill the pack. See, we missed a kick on one of those searing gazes, and it did a lot of group damage. So clicking the trap also like summons a mini boss. So you want to make sure that you're ready for that mini boss. So we pull it.
Stop cast.
The tank didn't know about the trap and like how it works exactly, so I just dropped a marker on it, and we just let him know just to drag it through the trap, and it gives the mob a 25% increased damage taken debuff, which is really nice. Helps you to kill him a lot faster.
Stop cast.
So this one's just got a like a silence for casters, and then it just has like a big AoE that comes out and hits you that you just want to get out of. So a super simple mini boss, but the damage just ramps up on it on higher key levels. So now we run around the boss area. We have imps. I don't have any cooldowns for this, which is a little bit sad because it's kind of a pretty scary pack. So I set my AoE fear. Pretty sure I put my reflect up just in case something targets me. But yeah, we almost we had one casualty. A hunter got. So we have a couple things. So there's the little herbalist flower. If you're a herbalist, you can click. We don't have the tome. We have the healing guy up. So the healer can click that, and it summons another mini boss. But you want to be careful. You don't want to click all these different mini boss summons at once, because if you have more than one of the mini bosses up, they actually buff each other. It's like 100% increased damage and health. It's very very spooky, and it's pretty much guaranteed a wipe. So the Enforcer does like a fell detonation. You want to definitely line of sight that. That dot actually hurts a lot. Tanks can eat it mostly, but even most of the time you want to just like not eat it just to reduce the damage taken of the whole group. Okay, so we got the second mini boss, which is the little eyeball guy. He does a disintegrate cast, and you want to kick that instantly. And then he also puts like a little debuff on 2 random people, and after like 3 or 4 seconds it expires, or 6 seconds. So you want to have like a kick rotation set up for this. So I held my kick. Impending Doom. This will go on 2 people. Yep, after 6 seconds it'll like explode, so you want to stay a little bit spread, and you probably want a proper defensive. Not on Tyrannical week, it's not as bad, but on Fortified week, you definitely want to send a defensive there. It does a lot of damage. So we're getting all these kicks. See, the healer just got popped. And when you're fighting these mini bosses, you can't actually res up at or just like release, because they count as like a little encounter for the zone. But now that they're dead, they can release and come back. Which the release spot is like just over there, so it's not too bad. We missed the Searing Glare cast again. We got this one. We got Ice Storm. Let's save our Stormbolg that's almost dead. So the healer healed up the healing mini boss thing, which then summons another mini boss. While we were killing that other pack, the healer gets hit by the frontal, which is a little bit deceiving. It's a lot wider and longer than it looks. So you definitely want to be behind this guy whenever you can be. Whichever way he does the shockwave is actually baited towards the tank. So as long as you're not standing on the tank, you're pretty much fine. But sometimes it's hard to know where the tank is, right? Because the mob leaps to the ranged players. Rip our boy Jordo. he was not even in that one, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they're just super wide. So you just gotta take extra care to be out of them. So our Lust timing's coming up. So we're just going to go play the boss with Lust. Just put our Lust on cooldown, and then we're going to come back and clear trash. Just so then, if we do need a second attempt on the last boss, we'll have Lust for it. And if not, it is what it is. But the last boss is like a lot easier now after they nerfed the AoE pulse. So now this boss is actually a bit of a challenge at times. With the burning intensity like stacking up. So it adds. You want to make sure you're all grouped up, so then they all spawn in one spot. And you want to hold your cooldowns just to blow them up really quick. And then you want to all restack again, kicking the Withering Soul. It puts like a minus like healing debuff on everyone, or minus health debuff. So it's not ideal if that goes through. So we're all stacked. We'll move. Get ready for our AoE. These imps also do those fire bolts. So you really want to like either kick them or stun them. But ideally you just like nuke them down.
I'm feeling positively radiant.
Ads.
Got my whetstone trinket ready for this wave. Just to help with getting some extra damage into them.
Marked by lightning.
It's pretty scary because like if even one goes off, because of people taking just like so much damage from the burning intensity, you pretty much just die. So you really want to make sure they die. Which I think it might be this set here where they actually go off. Yeah. See, we missed 3. I feared just too late, and we lose 3 people. Thought they were gonna die a bit faster.
Ads.
But that's okay. We have lots of healing. We'll just send an extra set of cooldowns here, because why not? Try and secure the kill. But lucky for us, we have a blood DK, and he's just unkillable apparently. Just blood DK things, I guess, huh?
It will amuse me to watch you melt.
Ads.
Very good. So now we just release. Which isn't too bad, because we still need to get percent here anyways.
You've done well so far.
We lose a little bit of time for all the deaths, but we still need to pull the trash anyways.
Infusing it with latent magic to make you appear as one of the nobles.
I'm gonna go for this pack. Normally these construct packs aren't the most chosen pack for people to pull. Just because you have to deal with constructs and inquisitors at the same time. But as long as you get all the kicks and stuns whenever you can, you're pretty much fine. Searing glare. There we go. So now you need around 94% count before you head to the last area for the last like mini boss. So I was kind of hoping that he would pull all of this off the rip, but I think he didn't notice that they were going to be all here until they were here, and then we just had to pull them in a bit late. It's fine, I held my cooldowns for a second. Just an event. Stormbolt the Ice Storm. Dodging frontals. Getting the Searing Glare kicks. It's all happening on this pack. It's a nice spicy pack. There we go. Now we got perfect amount of percent. Now we're just going to go solve the little puzzle at the end. Now, one thing to guarantee that you get short RP on the last boss here is you get somebody to actually guess the wrong little guest. Or you can leave a pillar up at the last boss and have to deal with a little mob running in on the first boss every time. But I think it's easier just to guess one wrong here. So now if you have a DH in your group, you can get everybody to get all the clues, and then the DH can use their spectral sight, and it'll show them the right imposter. But yeah, so you just have to like inspect all the little people, see which ones match the clues, and find the right suspect. I am very bad at doing this, not gonna lie. So normally I just go around and run and look for all the clues or guess wrong, and just get the smarter people to do that. So now this mini boss here is pretty much like Zolgamax from season 4 of Shadowlands. He do like a vampiric claw. He does like a dreadbolt volley instead of like the area denial one that Zolgamax did. And then he'll summon the little bats that you have to stun, which you can spell reflect if they're on you to like cancel their cast, which is pretty cool still. So you can actually pull this this mini boss all the way to the door as well. Like you don't have to fight him here. But if you got fast classes, it's just a lot easier just to keep him in one spot. Makes healing it a lot better. As you can see, we're just like rotating our kicks and our stuns and stops on the bat. Trying to make sure none of them go off. Stonewall here for this last one, so then normally leave the tank to click the keys. Or whoever's there, just like spam click it, and just have somebody running to the door just to click it. Just have it clear on me, go to clear first. Don't really just get stunned here randomly.
Impossible. My guards would never permit such an intrusion.
So now a lot of people struggle with this boss. But what you want to do ideally is have a ranged or your healer just bait where this boss charges to, and it makes the fight a lot easier. As you'll see on this side of the room down here, the hunter will be baiting the dash. So he'll dash over there, he'll leave a clone,
Dodge.
which does a pulsing beam. And then you just have to dodge the line on the ground, which they've now made a nice purple color, which is a lot easier to see than just like the gray. And you see the hunter ran back into the spot where the last one were, and now they're stacked up perfectly. So now this first set here, the healer can normally just like heal through it pretty easily because there's only 2 clones. The damage isn't ramping up yet, but as you can see, now there's 3 clones stacked up there, plus the boss. And they all do like their own sort of pulsing AoE. So the further you are away from them, the less damage that it'll do to you. So ideally you want to be as far away from the boss as you can, but sometimes you can't help it. But they just reduce the overall damage they do as well, so that makes it a lot better even.
Dodge.
As you can see, all these lines are going the same way, which makes it a lot easier to dodge. So your tank can also jump in these circles and get dispelled just to clear a bit of space in the room. But Blood DK can AMS it and run through them. You can have a Hunter Turtle and run through them. I think Rogues can cloak it and run through them. I sent Rally on that pulse there just to help the healer out a little bit.
Dodge.
We had one bait a little bit messed up, but it's fine.
If you blink, you bleed.
AoE.
Slices to the bone.
Pulses, so I decided to send my defensive here just to help out the healer a little bit.
Blink, you bleed.
But honestly, like these are really good baits. Sometimes you'll have him, he'll just like randomly dash to somebody close and then it'll mess up all the whole baiting, but we're getting really good baits this run here. AoE Maelstrom. I like to save my health pot to use on one of those sets, because it helps a lot.
Dodge.
Tank gets hit, almost gets trucked.
AoE.
Had my victory rush for this one. You want to like use whatever personal stuff you have to just help the healer out on each of those waves.
If you blink, you bleed.
And then just like that, we have our Keystone Hero, Court of Stars, which is our portal now, which is really cool. And that's the first 20 out of many to come. That was a pretty fun dungeon. I really enjoy playing Court of Stars. Super peaceful. We had 63.2k overall. The BM Hunter did 70k. BM Hunter like absolutely fries on Tyrannical weeks. And we had our Feral Druid doing 60.7. Over 60k in this dungeon is really good. So there's nothing to complain about there with damage. And yeah. That's going to be the end of this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and a comment on the video. Let me know what is the highest Keystone level of Court of Stars you've done. And what boss you find the hardest. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.